Come on in, come on in. Oh, we are live. This is Chevy Cool Later. Come on in. Grab your coffee, grab your beverage, grab your little snack, and let's talk true crime. We're going to talk about Sebastian tonight. We're going to talk about Mica and some updated information. We're going to talk about Amber Birbiglia, another South Carolina girl, tragically murdered at the age of only 23. So much sadness in this world, but we're doing what we can to raise awareness, because if it happened to us, we'd want someone to do the same for us, right? So come on in. We're going to give it a few minutes. You're welcome here. This is Chevy Cool Lady. Grab ya, baby, and let's talk true crime. Last weekend was Sebastian's Vigil, everybody. Did anybody go? Hey, Ava, come on in, girlfriend. Come on in. Come on in. Coming in, Mark. Come on in, everybody. You are welcome here. So the Vigil took place. What did y'all hear about it? Did y'all hear anything good? I have a little clip we're going to watch. A plea was made by Seth, of course, for his son. He was quite emotional that day from everything I saw. We're not going to watch, of course, the whole thing, but we'll take a couple little peeks at it. And I didn't hear about the ride itself. It looked like it was rainy that day from what I could see. But it looked like it was a beautiful day. And again, we're raising awareness, aren't we? Everybody doing what they can. Okay, so here's a little clip of old Seth, Sebastian's daddy.
Very, very quiet. Because my son's not there. It's
so sad.
Going through hell when I go home. He's not there.
Almost 9 months and still no sign of Sebastian Rogers. His father, Seth, says he won't stop looking for him.
The goal is to find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Some people have issues saying his name, and his name needs to be said more often.
Celebrity bounty hunter Dwayne Chapman, better known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, joined the search for Sebastian about 2 months ago. The search initially started with several local and state law enforcement agencies, including the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the TBI.
All right. So this was this past weekend, a vigil and a ride for Sebastian. I'm just wondering what y'all have heard about it. So let me know. It was quite an emotional day for Seth, and that's understandable. 8 months, still looking for your son. What a void. What a void. We'll check back. We'll check back with him. Okay, here we go.
With me, they'd have to actually answer their phone.
Seth encourages people to keep saying his son's name until Sebastian is found.
We're here because of Sebastian.
That's right. That's right. We're here because of Sebastian, and we're going to say his name, and we're going to remember him. We're going to spread awareness. We're going to make videos. We're going to keep him alive. As long as there's hope, there's life. The young man needs to come home. And everybody keep your eyes open on him, for him, because you just never know where you might see him. From what I heard, Dog the Bounty Hunter has, as of yesterday, I believe, is calling for an international hunt now. So that kind of ups the ante. He also raised the reward for up to $175,000. That's a lot of money. And somebody could really use that money. Somebody who has information that'll lead to Sebastian and, to the rest of the perpetrators, whatever happened. It doesn't even matter. We just need this young man to be home. We need the young man to be home. And there's $175,000 on the line for anyone who knows something. And I promise people know something. People are cracking under the pressure, and it's really just a matter of time. So we're waiting for some good things to happen. And I'm going to pull up some information on this on Dog. How y'all doing tonight? Everybody's doing all right? I hope y'all doing good. There's also some interesting information concerning Micah, and we'll pull that up here as well in just a minute. Okay, so let me just go ahead and we'll pull up this little screen. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's see what we can pull up. Okay, so okay. All right, we're going to just take a look at this is some information regarding Dog the Bounty Hunter, okay? And some information regarding the what's up, Charles? Charles Meyer, how you doing tonight? It's chilly in Texas, is that right, Ava? What part of Texas are you in? I lived in Conroe, Houston, for about, I don't know, about 25 years. Where's everybody from tonight? Where are you from, Charles? Where are y'all watching from? Arkansas, sweet. I had no idea how pretty Arkansas was till my son went there a couple months ago and sent me some pictures. I was like, wow, what a pretty place. I'll have to go one day, I hope. I love to travel. And while everybody's traveling, keep your eyes out for the missing people that we know about. Keep your eyes out for the missing children, especially Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We have a number, 615-451-3838. 3838. Or 1-800-TBI-FIND. That's 1-800-TBI-FIND. Remember, there's $175,000 reward for anybody with information leading to finding this young man. Now, in Nashville, Tennessee, WRKN reported it's been roughly 9 months since Sebastian Rogers, 15, disappeared from his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. Launching extensive search efforts by several law enforcement agencies, a celebrity bounty hunter who recently joined the search for Sebastian says it may be time to expand it internationally. Have y'all heard about that? Oh, okay. I've been out there, Ava, near there, not that far, but towards Dallas, Grapevine. When I saw some cool trains in Grapevine one time, it was neat. Yeah, we're spreading awareness. We're praying that he'll be found. I believe he will be found. I really am praying that he will. Everybody who loves him, everybody who's been searching for him, Everybody needs some relief. This has been going on so long now, over 8 months. So now the search is expanding internationally. Let's see what else it says. So, in the first few months after Sebastian's February disappearance, agencies continued to actively search for the teen, but never came across any sightings of him, and law enforcement has since pulled back to focus on the investigative side. Remember, they said that about 2 weeks in, as a matter of fact, and still no Sebastian. There's been a couple other leads, really quite a few. The most recent being the lead in Oregon. I haven't heard anything more about the New York. I have heard a little bit about the Oregon leads. Apparently, a man and woman were whatever, they were fishing or whatever, and were actually approached by who they've identified allegedly as CP and KP, who were apparently acting in an odd manner, so much so that the woman was able actually to identify them from what I've heard, and actually make a police report concerning the sighting. I believe that was back on May. Okay. So where were they going? This sighting of the couple took place in a place called Ford Pond. And Silver on the scene had actually pulled up a like a map with the KOA RV trailer park, and we've heard RVs mentioned quite a bit in the story. So it's all possibilities. Leads could mean nothing, or maybe they may lead to Sebastian. The CPs and KP were apparently traveling to Alaska while the search for Sebastian was going on, thousands of miles away. This is what I'm understanding. If you have other information, please correct me. I'm fairly new to this case, and I'm just trying to, get as much knowledge about it as I can. And I'm depending on y'all to give me some good information. And I'll try my best to give you fact-based information and drama-free as much as I can. Time live with you. I sure appreciate y'all. Please remember, like and subscribe, and be part of the coolest community on the internet, which is us, guys. We're building this from the bottom up. Okay, so this particular article says this is one of the most horrendous cases of missing children that we've ever worked on. Chapman, well known for his TV show Dog the Bounty Hunter, said. Okay, so for someone who's worked for 30 years minimum looking for people, he says this is one of the worst cases he's ever seen. There's been so much false information and contention. There's been allegations on every side. And all that matters is finding Sebastian at the end of the day. So everybody has their own opinions and allegations, it would appear, in this particular unfolding mystery. Okay, let's see if there's anything else interesting here concerning that. Let's go ahead and watch this little clip.
Closely with locals and initiated a rapid reach notification to all.
Okay, so this is about the search. Jim? Okay. All right, we'll get that lined up here. I'm out in the country and my internet just, it gets laggy, like my grandson would say. Okay, if they were keeping him in an RV, they could quite easily keep him away from the general population. I know. People live in RVs all the time, right? Apparently, there's a lot of family properties. Quite a few have even sold, from what I've heard, in this time. Lord knows, this is a confusing story, the story of Sebastian. So all we can do is just pray for him to be found. There's people searching for him. You know, just pray. Prayer's powerful, people. Okay, I think I'm able to pull this up. It looks like we will.
Along with Dog the Bounty Hunter, to increase the reward money and expand their search internationally. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Sebastian Rogers.
Sorry about that.
Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville last February and has not been seen since. Investigators tell News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry they're leaving no stones unturned.
It's been 10 months since Sebastian Rogers went missing from his family home in Hendersonville. In the first couple of months, several law enforcement agencies searched with no sight of the teen. Law enforcement then pulled back to focus on the investigative side. But Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological father, never stopped searching. Last month, Dog the Bounty Hunter joined the search efforts.
This is not the first rodeo for me finding a missing child.
Yeah.
Dog's first act was to raise the reward money for information from $50,000 to $100,000. Most recently, the reward has increased to $175,000.
It's a lot of money.
We want to motivate anyone with information to please step forward and potentially help break the case wide open.
Brandeis Davis, the lead high-risk task force investigator for At Night Intelligence Agency and Dog the Bounty Hunter, says new leads have created an international search effort.
We've pinpointed some credible leads in Oregon and New York border. There are several active investigation zones where we're working on the case closely with locals and initiated a rapid reach notification to all U.S. towns that border Canada.
Okay, so you might have. Okay, so you might have heard of that rapid reach. Rapid reach initiative along those particular border states. I remember South Carolina was even included, but most of them along the Canadian border and that type of area. I do have that information. I'll get that up. That was from the post that I saw on X. Did y'all see that? Do y'all look at X? It's a lot of good information. Probably a lot more than YT lets get out. There's so much censorship these days. I'm gonna pull up this information on the initiative. I forgot what they call it, the rapid response thing. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. What's this? Chevy Cool Lady, he has autism. Do you know if he should be taking meds of any sort? Yes, he definitely should be taking meds. He's on meds. CP had mentioned this early on about the meds. What I haven't figured out, and he's been off of them as far as we know, but this was a question I had too. That's a good point, Ava. He was diagnosed with a chromosomal disorder as well as ADHD. So he had medication for both these conditions. So CP said, remember he said it was against Hoffa or whatever. What is that called? HOPA laws or something like that. Not HIPAA. HIPAA laws. For him to disclose information concerning Sebastian's medicine, since he was not the custodial parent or biological parent, which, it didn't make any sense to people who understood. I heard this on an interview just last night where he said that. So yes, to the question, is Sebastian on medication? Yes. Did he administer it himself, or was KP or somebody giving it to him in the morning or whenever I don't know that answer. And the other question, and I'm assuming that if his medicine would have been missing, it would have been indicated. I didn't hear that his medicine was missing. Like if he took it himself, and knowing that, a daily routine is so important to autistic child to keep their day orderly. And, so if medicine was part of the daily routine, was he at that point where, he was functional enough to administer it to himself? I don't know. Have you all heard? Let me know if you have. But as far as we know, he has totally been without his medication. That's, a whole another can of worms, isn't it? Poor baby. I always feel so bad when I think about him. And everybody, the poor family, poor everybody. It's just unreal. Okay. All right, so I'm pulling up the dog, if I can find it. Okay. Okay, so this is basically what was on X here. And we're just raising awareness, keeping Sebastian definitely in the forefront tonight as we pray and believe for him to come home. For he's been gone far too long, everybody. 8 months, almost 9 months now. Almost 9 months gone. So here we have the X, formerly Twitter. Here's Dog the Bounty Hunter. We know he just has expanded the search to international borders with a rapid response issued for several states. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. I have this on a little video here, so I'll just pull that up. Probably easiest. do that way. Whoops. Okay, just bear with me, y'all. So kind. Thank you. Some of y'all might have seen this. I posted this a couple nights ago, but it has all the information concerning the recent or two of the recent searches. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is concerning digital footprints. Okay, guys. Okay. Just like an old time movie. All right. Okay, let's see. That's not what I'm trying to show you. Okay. We're just going to keep going with this. All right. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you hadn't heard about this digital update, I wanted to make sure you get this information. Very good. And I made a little movie about it. Hello, everybody. This is Chevy Cool Lady, and I do have some important information that's been updated from the At Night Intelligence Agency, and this is in regard to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Say his name still missing after 8 months. So we're happy to get this news. I'm going to go ahead and just read it to you as it was presented, and we are excited to have some information dropping on this young man. At Night Intelligence Agency, public assistance sought to locate missing teen Sebastian Rogers. Have you seen me? At Night is requesting public assistance in locating Sebastian Rogers, age 15, who disappeared on or about February 26, 2024. Our investigation has uncovered credible intelligence suggesting key connections in Oregon. Yep. And neighboring states. We are actively pursuing these leads across multiple states and regions of interest. This is Dog. On November 4th at night, in collaboration with Dog the Bounty Hunters, High Risk Violent Fugitive Recovery Task Force, and licensed investigators from Tennessee and neighboring states, working under contract for Sebastian's father and At Night, requested that One World initiate a high priority alert through its rapid reach response system. This alert has been deployed and continues to key regions, particularly along U.S. states with Canadian border access points, based on intelligence indicating the possible presence of individuals connected to this investigation. At Night remains steadfast in its commitment to following all actionable leads across Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, Oregon, South Carolina, Virginia, Wisconsin, and identified entry points into Canada. Our team is operating on a 24/7 basis after recent intelligence revealed a digital footprint linked to an individual with direct ties to the investigation. Following a verified tip originating from Oregon, we have expedited efforts to verify information concerning the involvement of at least two individuals in Oregon connected to this case. Their identifies their identities remain confidential. It is yet to be determined whether Sebastian was involved in this travel. However, we are focused on corroborating all findings and expanding our understanding of these connections. While no verified sightings of Sebastian have been reported, at night and its assisting partners, including contracted private contractors and investigators, believe that individuals in these regions may hold information critical to locating him. Canadian authorities and other relevant agencies have been notified. We urge anyone with information, however minor it may seem, to report it immediately. If you have information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff Office at 615 451 3838. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800 TBI FIND, FIND. Again, 1-800 TBI FIND, or via email at tips2tbi at tbi.tn.gov. Again, tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov. You may also reach out to your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. This is very good news. This is a digital footprint connecting two individuals in Oregon to the search for Sebastian Rogers. We are happy to announce that news. We count everything, any lead at all, as some type of progress. So we're happy to say that there is progress being made. There's a 24/7 alert that is revealing the digital footprint linked to the search for a Sebastian. So I'm going to name these states again: Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, Oregon, South Carolina, Virginia, Wisconsin, and identified entry points into Canada. Thank you so much for your time. All right. All right, all right, all right. So good news, progress. We got to take what we can get, don't we? So interesting. There's been some developments here. We've seen the vigil come out. There's been a lot of prayer. There's been a lot of pleads to the community. And now there's a list of states to be on the watch out, even over the border, international digital footprints connected in Oregon to people involved in this case. What it means. Hopefully, it means that they'll be bringing Sebastian home. Let's all pray he's all right. Till we know otherwise, let's just pray and go on the assumption that he is alive and he needs to be in a safe place and he needs to be found. So that's my prayer. That's my prayer, because that's the prayer that I would want people praying for my child or my grandchild. I have 7 children and 13, soon to be 14 grandchildren. So, I have a very special place in my heart for children, and a whole nother one for people who do children wrong. And, so I'm just here, just doing my share, just spreading awareness. And I thank you guys for allowing me the time in your day or your evening to share with you. I thank you so much. You mean the world to me. If you haven't liked and subscribed, I'd like you to know this is a safe place to discuss ideas, even outside the box concepts. We can even agree to disagree on some things, but we're going to be polite and respectful to each other. That's how we are, and that's how it's going to be, because that is cool. That is cool. And so we have some updates on Sebastian. We also have some updates on Micah. This weekend is festival in Myrtle Beach. Some of y'all probably are familiar with it. Her family and friends have gotten vendors and bands together, all kinds of crafts and a real good time. If you're in the Myrtle Beach area, this will take place at Market Commons, and it'll be a great time. I'll pull that information. I'll put it in the description for you all as well. Ava Sim says this might be a shot in the dark, but couldn't they add Texas to that? It'd be easy to take him to Mexico. Right. It'd be so easy. I know. Yeah, I have no idea how they came up with the tips that they did come up with. Like, I'm not sure exactly why South Carolina was considered that when most of them are border states, but they must have some kind of potential connection for choosing what they did. Ava, why Texas isn't on it when, and with all the people crossing across the border back and forth, Lord knows, be easy to lose anybody that way. But hopefully that'll be something that's going to be clamped down on, and we'll hope to see improvements in this country. I pray, because we need to all join together as Americans and be united, and we need to protect our children and our future. And it seems like here in the last, however long, it's just been a downward spiral. And I think, anybody who's taken a look at the cities, that's what really started waking me up. Just, it wasn't that long ago, just a few years ago, I just, for some reason, started looking up some of these cities. And one I came across that really just shocked me was when I looked at Kensington, PA. I used to go to Philly with my mom. I grew up in the DC area, and we'd take a train up to Philly, and we'd buy pretzels on the corner, and see the Liberty Bell and all the cool stuff, run up rocky stairs and all this stuff. Philly just, wow, it was rough then, but what it's turned into, when I saw Kensington is a city of zombies, and what was sad is that's not by far the only city. It's almost every city nowadays. And these horrific drugs like xylazine and pink coke and whatever else they're coming up with, these concoctions, these poison, they're poisoning our young generations, and preventing them from even having a future, trafficking children, and things that a healthy mind would never even delve or allow those kind of even thoughts to come, are actually perpetrated by not just people, high-ranking officials, and it's time for this to stop. It's time for good people to stand up and say enough's enough. It's time to bring awareness to these mysteries that people just want to cover up. We're tired of the cover-ups. We want truth. We want to shine light where we go, and we want our children brought home. And today we're focusing on Sebastian. and we brought up some information concerning him. The Oregon lead at Ford Pond, close to an RV trailer park. What's going on with that now? If anybody knows, put it in the chat. The New York lead, I haven't heard anything about. So if y'all know about that, let me know what you've heard. They've expanded this to multiple states, border states, and international. You know, it worries your mind when you think the possibilities of if he has survived and is being abused in some other kind of way, because he's a vulnerable child. He's not your average 15-year-old, you know, and unfortunately that's the type of person that predators go for, you know, someone they can trick easily or you know, because they're naive, because they're not thinking along those kind of terms, you know, and it really makes me mad, and it really makes me sad. And, you know, oh, the people that do those things, you know, they have a real special place in hell. That's all I can say about that. Gets me so mad. Okay, so yeah, so there's been some updates on what's going on with Micah too. Let me see if I can find the little bulletin. I'll pull up the little Facebook page here. Let you know if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, or if you're not and just want to support it in another way, that would be lovely. It would be great. And it's going to help some of the community organizations that help women out. I saw it just kind of briefly. It looked like there was a shelter involved and some other things. They're getting a band together and food trucks and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's good. That's really good. So let me see if I can find that for you guys. We want to share all the good news that we can. Okay. Take that this one on for you guys. I'm sorry if I'm muttering. Not trying to. All right. So this is just a Facebook page. Justice for Micah. I belong to a couple. I try to join the justice for the voiceless victims, so that I can find out what's going on. Let's see if we can find it. I'm sure I saw that here. Here's a lot. If you're interested in the John Paul Miller saga, let's see if we can find that actual. Should be under event, we would think. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't have one on this. I have another Micah thing that I belong to. Let's see. I think I saw something on the Mystery Project. He picks up a lot of the Micah stories too. Okay, well, I'm looking for that. We can there was a crocodile rock tape. Crocodile rock tape. Okay. Let's see what's going on with that here. Let's take a gander, shall we? Let's turn that off while he's talking, and we're just gonna skip. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna check out this Crocodile Rock thing that's supposedly happening.
Kill myself, and
That's that sad
I just want my family to know where to find me.
911.
Listen to those words again.
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Tell me what's happened.
Okay, remember this, of course.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
On May 7th,
So sad.
2024, Robeson County Sheriff's Department ruled that Micah Miller had died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The evidence was clear.
Yep.
She went to a pawn shop in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, then drove to North Carolina to a state park where she took her own life. But despite that, her husband, John Paul Miller.
He started taking medication for his mental health. He's been on schizophrenia medication.
Started to fly. And a lot of those accusations turned out to be true.
It tires being slashed. It talks about this device being jabbed into her tires to let the air out.
Okay, so I'm sure y'all heard that John Paul Miller's house got raided last week by the FBI. It was released that it had to do with Section 18 DV charge for interstate intention of causing bodily harm to intimate partner or spouse, basically. So it seems that there's much more to it than that, because when the FBI came, they spent about 5 hours at his house unloading all kinds of video equipment, computers, who knows what. Some things were unrecognizable. And when they were done, they probably had 30 or 40 boxes, a truck full of evidence potentially. And so he began, I think it was then just the next day or the next 2 days, closing down the church. They ripped off the signs, unloaded the equipment from the church. They even closed the school that was attached to it, Faith First Academy. And in my opinion, thank God for that, because these people in JP Circle do not allegedly need to be around any children ever, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. Now, what we saw happen with that then was a protester approached John Paul in the or close to the church parking lot. When he passed by, apparently she followed him. He started to walk and then turned around and being intimidating, possibly. I don't know what the purpose, but began to, hold his phone in her face, and in the process hit her brim of her hat a couple times, and it's enough to be A and B charge, right? Assault and battery, yes. And he was taken on 3rd degree. It's a misdemeanor in Horry County, and he was taken, spent several hours overnight or whatever, till this joker long showed up. There he is. Got him out there. They are the Walk of Shame. The Walk of Shame. This is concerning a third-degree battery to a protester. Now he'll be going to court in December. I want to say it's December 23rd, but I could be wrong. It could be.
Affairs, tracking devices. And he just wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah, they are.
He came out and he said she's having a schizophrenic episode, and he said that the anesthesia that she just came out of must have triggered it.
But now, maybe he's just talked a little too much. Because there's a new tape. And in my opinion, it's pretty damning.
Okay. So what he's talking about is on May 2nd, there was some kind of a meeting held at Crocodile Rock, where JP was a partial owner in this piano bar. And apparently it was a Micah bashing session from what this dude, Rob Harvey, has to say. He hasn't released it, but you know, he loves to build the drama. So we'll look forward to seeing what comes from that. Let's see what else is going on. Might as well just watch it, and y'all have something to say. Feel free to enter into the chat. I love you guys. We're talking about Micah now, open floor. And here's a little more about the Crock Rock conspiracy.
She had another episode. In that episode, she had a whole other episode. She thought artificial intelligence was after her.
As I said, Micah Miller died on April 27th, 2024. And just days later, on May 2nd, Pastor John Paul Miller had a staff meeting at Crocodile Rocks, a piano bar in which he was a part owner of. Yes, that's right, a pastor, part owner of a bar in Myrtle Beach. Now, the timeline is very important here because Fitz News is the one who broke the story of John Paul Miller's bizarre announcement he made on April 28th. That story came out on May 2nd. The next day, on May 3rd, I reported on the bizarre announcement video.
Okay, I'm sure y'all remember this. The day literally after he found out his wife was passed away, he casually, at the end of the second service that he preached that Sunday, announced her parting in a controlling and calculated way, callous, with void of feelings. How he could even preach was astounding to literally anyone who heard him. When I've watched this particular video, I don't know how many times. I've dissected it in other videos I've done just to watch his mouth when he spoke, because I was in such a state of not understanding what the heck was going on with this pastor and his beautiful, beautiful wife. What in the world is going on? Tragically, we found out what was going on, and more unfolded in the coming weeks and months. Let's see what else is going on this particular video.
Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit, because I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks.
Okay, and I can't really get by that without popping in here. And he literally is, from this point, trying his best to control the narrative and direct his congregation to not speak about this matter in church. Basically, he is telling them, I want you just to accept what I'm telling you, the way that I'm telling you without questioning. And then in subsequent weeks, we saw letters issued, we saw behavior, and then, of course, what we saw from Micah's own hand, her journal entries, affidavits, the number of police calls and police reports on both sides. It was just astounding, absolutely phenomenal. And then to find out this is a pastor. And then to find out it's a pastor that was just a few blocks away from me. I knew I had to definitely fight for justice for Micah. So we'll watch a few more minutes of this and see.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina.
So that means this. Nothing was known about John Paul Miller at the time. Nothing was known about Micah other than she had passed away. We didn't know about Trisha Ross. We didn't know about Susie Skinner. We didn't know about him hitting women with his truck. Yep. We didn't know about affairs.
Yep.
We didn't know about tracking devices.
Nope.
We didn't know about slashed tires. We didn't know any of that stuff. At the time of this May 2nd meeting, all we knew was a bizarre announcement and the death of Micah. That's it. But it seems that John Paul Miller knew a lot, and he reveals it in this meeting. Remember this July interview on News Nation?
Okay. The News Nation interview. Remember this, guys. I'm on God, Holy Apostolic, tongue talking. I can't even do it. Do you remember this? I hope he shows that part. If you didn't think he was a nut before this, allegedly, he cleared out any doubt. The staff was appalled.
John Paul Miller blames me for witnesses not coming forward.
Okay, yeah, so that was real interesting. That was a real interesting, it was an eye-opening interview. That's the one where he bawled like a baby, and they were like, what has brought this on? and it's just, I forgot what he said, but it was like, that's how the interview started off, with him bawling. And I watched the behavior panel guy, Mark. No, yeah, and he said, basically, he has what's called a histrionic personality disorder, meaning he likes to control the narrative by a great swarm of emotions, trying to captivate and pull people in through emotionally charged rhetoric and whatnot. And indeed, we've seen that multitude of times. Okay, have we not? Yes, we have.
And a lot of those accusations turned out to be true.
It talks about a tracker being put on her car. It talks about her tires being slashed. It talks about this device being jabbed into her tires to let the air out.
Affairs. Tracking device. He just wouldn't stop talking.
He came out in front and said she's having a schizophrenic episode, and he said that the anesthesia that she just came out of must have triggered it.
But now, talked a little too much. Because there's a new tape. And in my opinion, it's pretty damning.
She another episode, in that episode, she had a whole other episode,
It's very interesting that it says she thinks artificial intelligence was after her when artificial intelligence has played a big major part in this whole case, from the 911 call to the videos of both her at the Dick's Pawn Shop and at 31 Grocery. It's been said of multiple content creators, not police, mind you. I haven't heard the police verify this, but I have heard multitudes or multiple content creators say that, you know, it looks like a car was cut out of this, or it was edited in this way. Looking at the 41 Grocery, or 31 Grocery, and looking at the pawn shop. Certain you know, certain things, outlines on the people looked a lot like it could have been doctored by some people. This is all alleged and opinions, no verifications, but interesting how his good buddy Woodthrop, what's his name? Woodthrop, my mind is blank right now, but it begins with the W. Mark, allegedly is a big AI guy. Remember when they pulled that 911 call from Mica, the last one at the park? Then allegedly people were saying that doesn't sound like her. The cantor's so different. Surely it must be AI. People played with AI, and multiple content creators played with it and came up with similar sounding tapes and recordings that were AI. So now here in this secret meeting, JP, who loves to tell on himself, as all people do tell on themselves, if you listen to them, like Robbie Harvey was saying, if they talk long enough, maybe they'll talk too much, you know, and maybe he has talked too much. I'm interested in this tape because this is just now being released. I haven't seen this before. I thought we'd watch it together. So let's see what else is on it before we call this a close.
As I said, Micah Miller died on April 27th, 2024. And just days later, on May 2nd, Pastor John Paul Miller had a staff meeting at Crocodile Rocks, a piano bar in which he was a part owner of. Yes, that's right, a pastor, part owner of a bar in Myrtle Beach. Now, the timeline is very important here because Fitz News is the one who broke the story of John Paul Miller's bizarre announcement he made on April 28th. That story came out on May 2nd. The next day, on May 3rd, I reported on the bizarre announcement video.
Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit. Because I don't want to have, I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina.
So that means this. Nothing was known about John Paul Miller at the time. Nothing was known about Mica other than she had passed away. We didn't know about Trisha Ross. We didn't know about Susie Skinner. We didn't know about him hitting women with his truck. We didn't know about affairs. We didn't know about tracking devices. We didn't know about slash tires. We didn't know any of that stuff. At the time of this May 2nd meeting, all we knew was a bizarre announcement and the death of Mica. That's it. But it seems that John Paul Miller knew a lot, and he reveals it in this meeting. Remember this July interview on News Nation where John Paul Miller blames me for witnesses not coming forward.
So they sold her a weapon, and then I assumed that she drove. She told one of her best friends. So far, the four people she spent the most time with every week no one's interviewed or talked to those 4 people. And one of those people that I talked to told me that she told her 2 years ago, if I ever commit suicide, I'm going to go to this place in Lumberton, the state park, or something like that.
Which friend is that?
I probably wouldn't want to name her because.
Yeah, remember that, guys. Remember that. He has so much nerve. I'll tell you, it's like you could just see him making this stuff up, even as he spoke. Well, 2 years ago, her friend, one of the 4 people she spends the most time in the whole world, everything is so emphasized. It's like the more details he adds, if he adds numbers and things, he thinks people will believe him. And it's like you can just smell the lie. From here, I can smell the lie. Can't y'all? Oh, it makes me sick.
I saw this friend one time here in public for 30 seconds. And of course, Robbie S. Harvey, as usual, got somebody to take a picture and just.
Okay, so yeah, we know that. Then Robbie Harvey's going to go on about that too. Here's this recording. This is what I want to get to. I kind of want to skip a little bit of the Harvey. Y'all watch the full length and all that with him, but we're just going to skip to this tape because it's new information, right? Have y'all seen it? All right, here's Robbie Harvey. I will put the description in the screen or in the thing.
And I just got out a few hours ago from somebody I talked to that Micah told them 3 years ago that she was researching if she ever did this, it would be in Lumberton, the state park. I didn't know she did it. City Lumberton system.
But it gets even more interesting. Remember, a lot of people have questioned the use of AI, fake phone calls. When the 911 call of Micah came out, friends and family immediately spoke up and said, that's not Micah.
It doesn't sound like Micah during the 911 call.
Yeah, just hearing her voice.
Right.
It was not. I even went back on and listened to her songs and stuff to think, I know her voice did drop a little bit over this last year from a couple things, but even that I couldn't, I just knew it wasn't her.
To be honest, I thought.
Welcome in and Drama Does Light. And what you said is absolutely correct, which is every lie he makes up about Micah, every accusation is a confession. Right. Exactly. The narcissist's brain feels that they're just so much smarter than everybody else that nobody could see through their web of lies. And it's all so obvious. The Bible says, a foolish man digs a pit and he himself falls into it, and that's exactly what's happened. And it looks like this tape is very revealing, doesn't it? Let's continue with it here. Shall we?
I didn't believe it myself. And then I got my own fake phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
But that's beside the point. Remember, this audio was May 2nd. Artificial intelligence hadn't even been thought of at the time. Listen.
So she thought that artificial intelligence was after her, according to her text. She thought that I was going to lock her up somewhere and then do things to her mind. And so she left.
According to John Paul Miller himself, Micah believed AI was coming after her. And she believed that John Paul was going to lock her up.
Wow. That is heavy. What do y'all think about that, huh? Talk about a disclosure. Talk about a revealing through his own words of exactly what all these people came up with as possible theories before we even knew what was going on. It's astounding. It's absolutely astounding. And this is just now being released, and it's like confirmation for real that these crazy ideas are actually, this is what happened, possibly, allegedly, apparently. Wow. Okay, so that's just coming out from the Robbie Harvey. I will put a link in the description. Let's see if there's any other information here. Andromeda's light. It's like he's laying the groundwork to make her sound crazy, but also saying exactly what he did at the same time. Exactly. It's freaking diabolical. It's like so evil. It's like the ultimate gaslighting. When you make somebody think that they're going crazy by doing the crazy things that make them sound crazy when they reach out for help, and then running behind them saying, yeah, she's doing this because she's crazy. She's crazy. Yeah. So it would appear, but whoa. We all knew this, but yet these are very confirming words, in my opinion. Okay.
Have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are.
Now there's this.
Wow.
Listen to her words again.
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Now listen to John Paul.
And she called the police, and she told the police, I'm about to kill myself. Can you find my location for my family to have my body? Which they had said, like, no, or let's talk about it or something, but they said yes. And
He knows. Almost verbatim. What Micah said in that call.
Wow.
Remember, Robeson County Sheriff's Department didn't announce the results of their investigation until May 7th, 5 days after this meeting. But somehow John Paul Miller knew the details of the 911 call prior to the results of their investigation.
And she called the police, and she told the police, I'm about to kill myself. Can you find my location for my family to have my body? Which they had said, like, no, or let's talk about it or something, but they said yes. And
So either one of two things happened here. Robeson County Sheriff's Department released critical details of an activation, or
Micah had already appointed our sister Sierra over her email, her passwords to it, her Facebook account. Micah had been keeping track of all of her abuse, wrote every affidavit that someone has given her, or their testimony against what they've seen. For the lawyers, she had a huge binder already prepared. She had all kinds of journals. She was anticipating something bad happening to her.
Wow. That's so hard to watch, isn't it? It just breaks my heart. Thank y'all for your kindness. we're seeing progress in this case. We'll see progress also in Sebastian. There's one more case I just wanted to bring up before we close for the night, and that's Amber Birbiglia. In 2013, she was mercilessly slain. Her body left under the overpass of Robert Edge Parkway in Myrtle Beach, right in Little River, right across the intercoastal. Left her body. She's lying right outside her car's still running. She was beaten so badly in the face that the first responders thought she had been shot in her face. And the perpetrator has never been found. So our hearts go out to her family, who after all this time is missing their daughter, sister, and friend. And I just want to say justice for Amber while we're at it. And whoever knows something, and somebody does know something, it's time to speak up. Time to speak up. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. You mean the world to me. This is a safe place to discuss true crime and outside the box ideas. You are welcome here. If it's your first time, please consider actually subscribing. And if you are already subscribed, you mean the world to me. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Love you guys. Stay safe.